Stop looking for the ghost of who you were, because that identity is simply a story that has ended. You finally understand, with a soft sigh. That version of you was a temporary lesson, never meant to be a permanent destination. You are done begging for closure. You now actively turn your attention and your whole heart toward creating peace instead. Suddenly, the weight is gone, and the heaviness of being alone no longer settles in your chest like a burden. It feels like infinite space now. Room to expand your lungs, freedom to deeply rebuild everything, and permission just to be. The universe did not shift its axis. The truth is simple. You were the only one who underwent the necessary transformation. And because of that deep internal pivot, everything around you subtly began to click into its rightful place and align perfectly. You cease chasing after a grand meaning. You start living inside the simple, beautiful meaning that already resides within the present moment. And that's when the light blinds you with the realization that the illumination you sought was never outside yourself, not even for a second. It was always you, patiently waiting to be remembered, beneath the deafening clamor and constant unnecessary noise. Be deeply certain. You are not the person who first gathered the courage and started walking this incredibly difficult journey. You are the version forged by the fire, the one that finally possessed the wisdom and the acceptance to simply surrender and let go of everything. The version that trusts the unknown completely, walking slowly into the mist of dawn with nothing but a faint, knowing smile. Because the profound peace you crave is not discovered in having all the answers, but in the final act of total, unburdened surrender. The very second you stop fighting the flow of life, you suddenly feel the universal current wrap warmly around you like a profound, powerful embrace. You finally managed to understand, with utter clarity, that the suffering you endured was never a bitter punishment from the outside world. It was the necessary shaping and preparing for the beautiful, whole, and strong human being standing here, right now, today. The one that finally feels completely seamless, no longer searching for any missing piece to fill the void. The one that has let go of the need to be understood by everyone, needing only to be genuinely seen. Because in this present moment, after all the shadows have lifted and the search is done, you are irrevocably the light itself. A deep silence descends. Just the slow, conscious motion of the light and the gentle sound of being. Some faces fade into the mist when you ascend to your new elevation, not out of malice, but because of a deeper, vibrational misalignment. They simply were not meant to breathe the rarefied, expansive, and high-frequency air of your new, awakened reality, and you find deep acceptance in that. It simply means that your own soul has gone through its necessary, beautiful evolution, because the higher, purer frequencies of your current self cannot possibly hold on to the residual echoes of the old, low-vibrational world. Your silence becomes a resonant drum, infinitely louder and far more impactful than all of their distracting noise combined. And those rare souls who truly match your inner peace and resonate with your depth will inevitably find their slow, steady way to you. They don't require explanations to grasp you. They simply feel the deep, unspoken vibration of your essence. They truly become the reflective mirrors that see and validate the calmness you carry within your core. And together, you don't just rise higher, you delve into a profound connection that takes you infinitely deeper into self-discovery. Not every single person is destined to walk this distance with you, and that reality must be accepted with grace. Some paths are specifically carved for profound solitude, which is the ultimate sanctuary, not for the weakness of loneliness. Because solitude is the sharpest stone that hones the edges and clarifies the vision of your soul. It grants you the pure sight to penetrate the surface noise and look directly into the beating, quiet truth. And that core truth never shouts its presence. It simply breathes its reality in a gentle, persistent whisper. That is the final moment you cease chasing peace, because you have finally become the quiet, eternal thing you were seeking. You stop being a reaction to the outside world. You start being the sovereign creator of your inner reality. The mind was never a prison you needed to escape. It was always the delicate, luminous key you needed to find and use. You do not stage a frantic escape. You simply open your eyes and fully awaken to the new dimension of your being. The true awakening often feels profoundly solitary, until you finally encounter the others who dared to wake up too. They are the ones who speak your silence fluently, the ones who understand your essence without requiring a single spoken word. That is your sacred tribe, connected not by the fragile ties of blood, but by the undeniable strength of shared frequency. They are the steady hands that reach out and anchor you when you momentarily forget the magnificent truth of who you are. And in their presence, they gently remind you that you were never, not even in your darkest moment, truly alone. Every single point of contact becomes sacred, a pure transmission of energy and intention. Because the underlying vibration never lies, it is the purest, most honest language known to existence. You feel the undeniable truth in your gut, and you quietly, steadily walk away from every single thing that is not. And the most surprising part? Letting go no longer carries the sting of pain or the weight of regret. You just know with profound clarity that the experience of pain was never an obstacle, but the necessary teacher. And the state of unconditional love is the magnificent, soft graduation into your next phase. Unconditional love demands nothing for itself. It never asks for possession or ownership. It only asks for your full, absolute presence. And when your entire being is fully present, anchored in the now, you find that the entire world around you naturally begins to glow and shimmer. You finally realize the profound truth. The vast, complex universe you sought was never a thing outside of you or somewhere far away. It was always residing within your chest, waiting patiently for you to simply pause the search and consciously remember your cosmic self. You begin to feel a sacred thread of connection extending from your core, binding you gently to every single thing: the sky, the earth, and the wind. You are no longer driven to anxiously ask why, but instead you are moved to deeply feel the beautiful, quiet mechanism of how. That is the beautiful culmination where peace ceases to be an abstract concept or a distant goal and finally becomes your inherent nature. The biggest revelation hits you hard. You realize with a soft, settling calm that there was never, ever anything wrong that needed fixing. You were never fundamentally fractured or broken. You were merely expanding your essence and unfolding into your true form. Unfolding gracefully into the destined, full, and powerful being that your soul was always inherently meant to be. And then, the world simply falls silent. A profound, deliberate pause descends on everything. No turbulent thoughts, no external interference. Just pure, quiet, and undeniable being in its most essential state. In the center of that total silence, you find the paradoxical truth. Everything in the universe begins to speak directly to your soul. You feel the silence itself observing you back, an ancient, calm, and deeply knowing presence surrounding you. And in that vast, empty mirror, the deep, unavoidable recognition hits you. The silence is you. You were always the glorious light and the necessary dark, both indispensable facets of the same profound, luminous mirror. You stop the internal conflict of trying to choose between them and simply begin to see and embrace both sides equally. The familiar world slowly returns to your perception, but with a fundamental, profound shift. Nothing feels remotely the same. The faces you mourned as lost are still gently present, their energy manifesting in new, lighter, and different forms around you. You smile, not from complete understanding, but from the sheer relief that you no longer need the impossible burden of understanding everything. Every person and situation that ever departed from your life was not a rejection. It was an act of sacred space-making. Space specifically carved out, reserved for the magnificent person you were always destined to become. And now, you find yourself walking with effortless grace, profoundly lighter than you've ever moved before. Not because the external world rearranged itself, but because the internal map of your entire being finally shifted. New connections will certainly come, but you will never again carry the desperate need for any of them to stay and fill a void. You will simply meet souls, share energy, and flow honoring the beautiful, rhythmic impermanence of existence. No rigid grasping, no feeling of bitter loss, just the calm acceptance of what is here right now. Just pure, uninterrupted motion. And in the very heart of continuous movement, you unexpectedly find the most exquisite stillness once again. The sacred circle of becoming completes itself, confirming the perfection of the entire journey. The intense light softens into a gentle glow, no longer designed to blind with revelation, but to warm and comfort you with peace. You finally let go of the exhaustion of searching for a reason or a purpose outside of your own core existence. Because you yourself have become the meaning. You are the living, breathing answer to every question you ever asked. The pain that sculpted the shape of your being was never endured in vain. It was used with precise intention. It carefully carved the darkness away, transforming your very essence into pure, radiant light. The world no longer shrinks down to your fear. It expands to match the vastness of your newly opened perspective. It feels completely infinite, borderless, and eternal, a perfect reflection of your own soul. And perhaps this quiet, profound realization is exactly what true awakening truly means in the end. You are not waiting for a sign anymore. You have become the quiet, profound frequency that calls forth the new world. And from this moment forward, the only map you will ever truly need is the untamed, vast wilderness of your own heart.